Welcome, 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 wonders. Welcome, travelers. We are back in this thing. Yes. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for just exploring this corner of the universe um, that is cosmic radio. Um, I had to fight through some fear. I had to fight through some procrastination. I had to fight through whether or not this meant anything. And as you can tell by the title of this episode, it is called Fear. And I figured that would be the best place to start this cast because so many of us as creatives fear our greatness. We tend to think that sometimes our ideas don't meet others or are not as good as others. And fear is something that I want to conquer. Fear is something that I want to learn how to navigate through. And my guiding word for this year is fearless. So a few friends of mine at the top of the year, we decided not to do New Year's resolutions or uh, vision boards. We decided to do guiding words for our new year. And my guiding word is fearless because through some self reflection, I realized that fear is something that takes hold over me. And I want to learn, again, how to navigate through it. So I don't stop my own greatness, or I don't halt my own greatness, or I don't pause myself. And so it's about working through the fear. And this podcast, and one of my fears is communication. I'm going to be 110% transparent with you all. A lot of times the ideas in my head are so complex or so abstract that I fear communicating um, in the fear that no one will understand it or get it or respect my creativity or see that I have a place. And then if you dig even deeper, that becomes, well, why don't I see that I have a place when I shouldn't even be comparing myself to others? But that's a whole other podcast, which we will get into later on in this season. But fear, again, fear with this podcast. I didn't know if anyone would even listen. I didn't think that I had anything to offer. And it had to mean something if this was going to rise back up to me. The first season was absolutely beautiful, but it didn't embody everything that I wanted it to be. I wanted that platform in the beginning to be something that was teachable for whoever tuned in. But I realized that I needed to go through some things. And really study. If I was going to get into this environment, this ecosystem of podcasting, then I needed to understand myself. I needed to understand my direction. I needed to understand my purpose for even doing it. Um, so, in my fear, and this is so funny, that Source will give you exactly what you ask for. I want to conquer fear. I want to understand how to navigate through it. So, in order to do that, Source is going to give me tests. Source is going to give me the very thing that I fear and see if I can get through it. And out of nowhere, I had this pull to do this podcast. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm working on some other projects and they are taking a lot of my time and my focus. But I was like, I don't want to do that. But one of the things that I had put into the atmosphere is that I wanted to work on my communication. I wanted to get clearer in my thought. I wanted to get better in my storytelling. What better way than to bring forth the podcast? And it's bizarre and it's beautiful all at the same time because Source will go, okay, look, okay, this is what you want. Okay, I'm going to give this to you. And what better way for you to learn how to flow through your thoughts, how to share your thoughts in a meaningful way, the way that you truly want to impact, than to bring back this podcast. As you've seen in just the promo of this, I get a severe thrill out of helping others and seeing them achieve what they thought was impossible. Like, that just gives me joy. Like, when I tell you, I connect to it so much. And when the universe says that we are all connected, we are all connected. And when I feel another person's excitement for whatever they're going through, that they feel like they have achieved or succeeded in, or working through, I get excited, and it then inspires me. And I love this space of being a creator, being a creative director, and being an artist developer. And so, if I'm going to be in that space, what better way to invite people in than to have a source where they can come and reflect off of the insights that I have, the experiences that I have, and just the things that I'm learning, because we're going to be going through this in real time. I'm going to be sharing in real time. There's things that I am currently going through that I would love to have this conversation with this community with. But to go back, I have a talent and a skill. I don't want to call it a gift because I don't even want to give it that much power. But I have a talent for talking myself out of things. So even bringing this back to the surface and challenging it, and I'm like, God is going, yeah, you need to do this podcast. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. Struggle with it. I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't know if I have the time, blah, 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 blah. And every day, I kept hearing it, and it kept getting louder, and the pull kept getting stronger. And I was like, okay, I started doing some more research, trying to understand what I wanted to give, what I wanted to share. And then there were two things. So if I have this talent for talking myself out of my own greatness and manifesting my own ideas and structuring them and building them because of whatever reason, that it could be too extreme of an idea, or I fear people won't understand, or am I even connected to it? Am I even possible? Is it even possible? Do I have the resources? Is this going to require me to ask so many people of their time that it just becomes, and then I just get overwhelmed and I'm like, F it, I don't want to do it. And then something that could be very beautiful and very needed for just whoever is tuning in, I will put it to the side. So once this pull on me got strong, and I was like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. I can't ignore this. I can't fight through this. I have to do this. I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I said, in order for me to not do what I would typically do and allow this talent to get in the way, I'm going to lock myself into it. So I locked myself into it. I did a post on Instagram, and I was like, I am going to bring back Cosmic Radio. And it was like, after I posted that, I was like, oh crap, you in it now, Lenny, you in it now. There's no going back. You said you were going to do something, and now you have to do it. You have to do it. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? I have to do it. I have to do this for myself. I have to make sure that I don't allow this fear to take me over and not allow me to enter into my greatness. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to not allow this fear to take over me so I do not enter into my greatness. Because at the end of all of this, I want to enter into my greatness. I want to be the best of me that I can be. I want to be the optimal me that I can be. I want to be impactful. I want to be intentional. And so I need to move like this. And so I began to structure. I was like, all right, started asking people, the audience, what would you like to hear? Seeing if I was in alignment with the intention that I wanted to infuse this with. And I got a few responses, which was amazing. Because again, even in that, I was fearing asking the question. I was like, what if nobody even is interested? Say if nobody even responds. But I got my responses, regardless of how many or how few I got responses. And I'm looking at this now and going, boom, I got these responses. There are people that are going to tune in. And then maybe not everybody saw it. We know how the algorithm works. So I'm not going to get into my head and again allow fear to take over to stop me from evolving, to stop me from growing, you know? And so I locked myself in. I locked myself in. And then after doing some even more research and getting my description, getting my intention, understanding, going back to the first season and seeing what I would love to change and seeing what it was that I wanted to do, I wanted even this to be art. It needed to feel like me. It needed to feel like it was me in its full authenticity, in its fullness. So, and I like drama. I like epicness. I like adding drama for no reason whatsoever because it just does something to the emotions. It does something to the person. It just I don't know. I love it. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this art. So that intro is art to me, baby. It is art. The cover is art. This is this world. This is this corner of the universe that I am in. This is me building the world of cosmic radio. And when I say world building, we are all building our own individual worlds. So that means we are deciding what our governments look like, what our culture is going to look like, what the people are going to be like, what we're going to infuse the attitude of, how we're going to spend money. Everything is building our world for ourselves. So if we were a storybook, how would you develop that ecosystem? And so for me, I was like, okay, I need to develop this the same way that I'm putting all of my energy into my artistry, into the other projects that I'm working on. World building is always there. I wind up building worlds and not even really thinking about it. It just happens. So let me flow with that and go with that because it's a part of who I am. And let me lean more into it. So I was like, we're going to build this. So again, I thank you for tuning into this little corner of the universe because you could be anywhere else in the universe, but you tuned in here. And my prayer is that you receive something from this. So going back into this, fear is something that we definitely need to focus more on, but we need to understand it. Fear is not necessarily all of the things that tense us up and make our bodies tight. There is something to learn through fear. And that was how I wanted to navigate through this year is when I got fearful of something, I wanted to be able to look at the fear and go, okay, fear, I see you. I feel you. Now, God, what are you teaching me in this moment? What do I need to learn from this moment? When I tell you that has been very, very beneficial, and it's an ongoing process. It's not something that, you say and then all of a sudden it shows up and then you're instantly over it. And this has to grow into a habit. This has to grow into character. And so and in order for that to happen, you have to keep practicing. You have to keep yourself in that mindset. And then that comes into awareness, that comes into a lot of different other things. And luckily, where I am in my spiritual journey, my sense of awareness has grown tremendously, and I'm so grateful for it, because I'm in this space where when something happens like that, I can instantly go and stop myself and be like, ooh, that didn't align with who I'm creating myself to be. Like, and I feel it. Or if something is, or if I get nervous, or if I get fearful of maybe correcting someone or having a conversation or a new environment, even, with my job, like me going into working with seniors and then working with seniors that have dementia, I was very fearful of that. But then I was like, God, what are you going to teach me through this? What do I have to learn? I've now gone into this space, wasn't expecting to go into this space. So what are you teaching me here? What is the lesson here that I need to learn? And that's a whole other thing. I've been taught a lot of other things. Maybe we'll go back into that later on in this season. But looking at fear and challenging it that way has been the ultimate blessing and the ultimate revelation. And again, it's about practice. And if there is anything that us as creatives, especially, because we do something to our environments, we do something for our communities, we do something for anybody that decides to digest our art. And we should not fear our greatness. We should be developing and growing into our fullness with each and everything we put out and share to the world. Do not fear your greatness. Do not fear your greatness. Do not fear your greatness. Walk in that greatness. Talk in that greatness. Think in that greatness. Feel in that greatness. Taste in that greatness. Like, be who you are supposed to be on this planet, for this planet, and continue to raise the frequency. Continue to raise the frequency. There was something so beautiful. I love the movie Dune. I love the movie Dune. I've never read the books. I've never seen the first iteration of the movie version of the books. I think it was released in like the 80s. I see it on Netflix all the time, but I refuse to watch it because I want to watch it after, especially after this third movie of Dune is released. I love it. This world building of Dune is absolutely incredible. And if you know anything about me, I love something that is like super cinematic, and the story is just so captivating that you automatically like dive so deep into the world that you can see yourself in it, to the point where I can dream about it after watching it, and I just feel like I want to be in this world. Um but there was something that was so magical about this movie, and I'm going to read something. Um, uh, the the litany against fear, and this is like a prayer that they say when fear rises up. And I just wanted to share this with you because I thought that this was powerful. And it goes, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. I heard them say this prayer, and um, the character Paul, his mother, would go into this prayer whenever she started fearing. And I was like, to be that programmed and to be that what's the word I'm looking for? To be that aligned with yourself. I feel like there's a different way to explain that, but I'm going to stay here. Um, to be that aligned with the thought to go, as soon as you feel something, to automatically go into that training, into that practice, into that grounding. That's amazing. And I was like, I want to get to that point where as soon as I feel that thing come up, it's just like an automatic reaction to just go, okay, what am I going to learn from this? Why am I fearing? Where is this rooted from? It's just an idea. That means that this is something new for me. This is a new level. This uncomfortableness here is me saying that I'm not capable enough. Why am I not capable enough? Or wherever it's rooted, like to break it all down and just go, okay, so there is no fear. There is no fear in this moment. This is what it is. I shouldn't fear it. I should welcome it. I should invite it in. I should invite it in. Allow it to teach me what it needs to teach me. Let it pass. And now let me just walk in what I have just learned and in what I have just evolved into. So again, I leave you guys with this. Do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. Walk in your greatness. And that's easier said than done, but practice, put into practice of you walking into your greatness and not allowing things to stop you or halt you. And that could be comparison, that could be fear, that could be doubt, that could be all of these little things that grow out of fear. You know, all of those different branches. Reflect, journal. You know what I mean? You know what? That's what we'll do. This will be our first journal prompt. So after you listen to this, wherever you are in your day, before you close out your day, is there something that you're fearing? And why do you fear it? And that's our journal prompt for today. Is there something that you're fearing and why do you fear it? What happened to cause you to fear? I think that's an even better question. What happened to caused you to fear it? Journal that. Get to the root of it so you can learn what you need to learn and then proceed to walk in your greatness and in your fullness. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, thank you for just allowing me to bring this space again. And I am so excited for you all to join me in this journey. I love you all and continue to be a blessing and follow your art. All right, I'm out. Thank you so much for tuning into Cosmic Radio. Your presence here means the universe to us. If you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you did, please leave us a 5-star review. And if you feel inspired, share this episode with a fellow creative. Let's build this cosmic community one episode at a time. And now, I close with this. It only takes one decision to raise your frequency. Ask yourself, who do I choose to be? Oh, and one last thing. Follow your art. Yours in shadows and in starlight. LH.
Transmission complete. Signal disengaged.